No, for sure.
You indicated last night you were mystified by the process that it led to your decision at this point, that there had been this opposition to having this as a non-lethal alternative.
Yeah, I mean, I know that then Chief Gascon first Chief Fong made the argument for 2,000 or however many would be the whole department. I know Chief Gascon had the same suggestion, and then I actually thought that I had a more practical approach or a realistic approach, asking for a pilot for those officers that would be what I thought would be the least likely to use them, but the same officers that we would put in those situations, and it just appeared that through the policy, I appreciate my commission. I really do think that I had the support to go forward with a pilot, but I just think that you could tell from the policy, which would still probably be months away, that by the time the constraints came to pass, that the tasers never would have been drawn.
The fear by the officers being that because of the restraints put on them, it could, you said, actually endanger the public more.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like to believe that the police department right now is seen the way it should be seen, that we're a very thoughtful, measured approach police department. I think that the men and women of this department do a terrific job every day doing their job. I mean, I do. I really think they do a great job, and I think that to give them pause from how they're currently doing business could create a circumstance where either themselves or the public would actually be more at risk than less at risk.
The idea being they hesitate whether they should pull the taser because of the potential target?
Well, yeah, and there's an expectation of the public. You know, I'm sure that you all would broadcast that police now have tasers, when in reality they would be hamstrung from using them. So when we did what we might have to do, unfortunately, the suggestion would be made that it was even worse now that we had tasers and didn't use them. So if you have a tool and you can't use it, why bother having it? Plus, I have other things that I have to spend money on. I have other things that we have to spend time on. So if the process is going to be so long and drawn out that by the time it's over with, we have a tool we can't use, it just seemed the prudent thing to do to end the discussion sooner rather than later.
Do you feel like you can revisit it someday?
Well, I mean, I think as the taser is currently configured, obviously that prompted that conversation. But I mean, the constraints, just to name a few, you know, it's young people, it's old people, it's pregnant women. Some suggest all women, people that are mentally ill, people that are in crisis, which is the exact population that we are trying to not have to harm if they come at the officers. I mean, wet people, which would rule out, I guess, rainy days, near roadways, and on and on and on. And again, we're still months away from the final product, and we're already to the point where I just think it creates too much calculus on the part of the officer. It's too much to ask.
Chief, are you frustrated in the way things went with this?
No, I'm not easily frustrated. So I still believe that we have a moral obligation to keep looking. I mean, right now we have the less lethal beanbag gun that at least creates pause. It's akin to a real good fastball. But again, I've drawn the analogy, you know, thankfully most baseball players hit with a hard fastball, get up and still go to first base. So the struggle will probably continue. Hopefully there's something out there that we can find that's more portable for the officers, because we need something that they don't have to go get or have to call for.
Chief, you said that a minute ago that you thought you had support from the commissioners to move forward. I talked to Gary Galanis on the phone today, and he is really mad. He called this San Francisco liberal BS run amok, and he blames the commissioners in particular, saying that they have shown a complete lack of understanding with regards to the effectiveness of tasers. So I'm curious, because he seems to be angry with commissioners in particular, but you're saying you had support to go forward. So which is it?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I have the utmost respect for the commission. I think the discussion was thoughtful. You have to remember, this was inherited work, this resolution, that when I asked for the pilot, I wasn't even aware of the resolution, neither were some of the newer commissioners. When Commissioners Terman and Loftus were 2/3 of the exploratory committee, if you will, the general public comment that came forward at all the community meetings were that which came up with all these caveats. So again, I think Gary Delanus is one of the most vocal champions of the officers. The strides that the POA has made on behalf of this department and the partnership we have is great. But I do believe that I would have gotten at least 4 votes, and I think that the folks that are contrary to us having tasers, I think they knew that too. So I think they went another way, and the policy became so cumbersome that it basically amounted to a filibuster.
Can you talk about the CIT training in terms of that role going forward? How many officers have been trained in it? Is it enough to offer an alternative now that we won't be seeing tasers?
The CIT training is terrific. I know we used to call it PCIT. I actually did it when I was a regular officer. Teaches you how to engage people, how to stand down. The policy we've had in place since it was one of the first acts that I became chief. I totally believe that we need to have officers act counterintuitively. I mean, we're the people that rush to danger when everybody else runs away. And I think that when you have folks in crisis that are only a danger to themselves, that it's prudent to stop, slow down, step back, and create distance. We've been doing that now for 2 years, and thankfully, knock wood, we haven't had to harm anybody that was just a danger to themselves. We did have the incident of Mr. Prolong at the chocolate factory that had already cut one person seriously and came upon an officer, and my want in asking for a device short of a handgun was to even close the gap on that shooting, so that I'd be sitting here right now telling you that we had none. But that's not something that the community most concerned would have, so we'll go another way.
Why do you think San Francisco is, has become such a thing where around the country most departments have tasers or something similar?
I don't know how long you want me to sit here to discuss why that is. So San Francisco is San Francisco. It's the city I was born and raised in, and we like our discussions almost more than anybody.
One of the union statements released said it will cost more lives, just plain stupid, and that's a quote. But it will cost more lives. Do you agree with that?
I think to have something less than a firearm to go to without going to a firearm is better than not to have it. That's why I asked for it. So that's not going to happen, at least not with today's taser. So again, we'll continue to look for something different, because I don't think what a lot of people understand is that what it does to the officer, obviously the victim's seriously injured. I mean, the person shot is seriously injured or killed. But what it does to the officers that have to use their gun and then deal with everything that comes later, I just assume that not happen either. So I think it's in everybody's best interest to find something. So, I mean, if we just shoot one less person, that works for me. So we'll figure it out.
OISs are trending downward?
We were real low in the first quarter. In the last 30 days, we had a few. Hopefully we'll go more time without any. Again, I've been at pretty much every scene, and including the one on Saturday night. But when somebody has a gun that looks as real as that one and doesn't drop it across the street from a police station, as I've said, I mean, I don't think anybody can be surprised at how that story ended.
You said before, you're not going to stop looking for a less lethal weapon. So what's next right now? What's next in the search?
So what's next in the search?
Yeah.
So we look at other options that isn't a taser.
What other options are there for you considering?
Well, again, we currently use the less lethal beanbag shotgun, which is a stop weapon versus a control weapon. So we'll look at, maybe there's more portable options of that out there. Absent that, we looked at a lot of things. We believed that the taser was the best option. Other people disagreed, and I think, at least for today, that I concede that that as constrained, that's not the way we're going to go. Good.
Any other questions?
What?
It's hard to be left, but he's on the left. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Chief. Sorry. Can you just give us a little...
Do it over again?
Yeah. Do it all again. Wind them up.
I tell you what, why don't we let everybody go, and then I'll talk to you over again. So thank you.
Don't tell me anything good, though.
No, it's...